Hey everyone, it's Dwayne here. Welcome to another episode of a Snapshot from the Summit. 5 minutes of amazing goodness that will enable you to unlock the money vault, flip the bird at the 9 to 5, and ultimately slash decades from building wealth. And it's with that in mind, that slashing decades from building wealth, that I go about today eliminating some of the superfluous stuff that are in no way designed to help us in being able to ultimately create wealth, and then with that creation of wealth in mind, slashing decades from building it. And so one of the things that we do when we go off in our search, our journey, so to speak, when it comes to, I want to tell the boss to jam it. So let's set off on this journey of discovering how are some of the ways that we can go about ultimately creating some way of generating income that doesn't involve the 9 to 5 hustle or grind or working 10, 12, 15 hour days, 5, 6, 7 days a week. You know the drill, my friend. It's probably giving you shivers right now as I speak it. So one of the things that I have employed in my life across the board is when it comes to health, wealth, and relationships, I ask myself one question, right? And that question is the key. Ultimately, it's the key to unlocking the vault. It's the code that you want to apply in your life. So get yourself a pad, get yourself a pen, and write this question down. What is this question? What is the one thing that if I do it in this area, be that health, be that wealth, be that relationships, what's the one thing that if I do this one thing will have the biggest impact on X, whatever X happens to be? So let's use relationships. What's the one thing, if I do this one thing, what's the biggest, if I do this one thing in my relationships with both my significant other, with my children, if you have children, as a parent, in the workplace, etc. What's the one thing that if I do this will have the biggest impact and ultimately will mean that I don't have to do a heap of other things, right? So what's the one thing that if I do this makes all the other things that I think I need to do unnecessary, right? So ultimately what it does is this one thing allows you to significantly leverage both your time and your money, right? I've kind of talked about this forever, right? Literally since I was 18 years old, this has been the focus of my life, this one question. What's the one thing that if I do this one thing makes everything else that I think I need to do unnecessary, right? Unnecessary. So when it comes to wealth creation, what's the one thing that if I apply this one thing to my life will ultimately mean that I can unlock the vault, I can slash decades from building wealth, and I can tell the boss to jam his shithouse job up his rear end, right? What's the one thing that will enable me to do that? And if you want the answer to that, you need to reach out, because I have that answer, right? We have that answer inside the Magician's Guild. The Great Escape, right, is that answer. And if that's of interest to you, reach on out. Above or below this episode, you'll find 3 ways. Pick one, and let's see whether what we have fits with what it is that you're looking to achieve, the result you're looking to achieve. So that's the question, my friends. You want to tattoo that question to your forehead and apply it immediately across the board in your life. Apply it to your health. You know, what's the one thing, or what's the one way of What's the one thing that if I applied this to my health and to my fitness, that it would make everything else totally unnecessary and would give me the biggest bang for buck in regards to being a lot more healthy into the future, being fit, etc. What's the one thing that if I applied it to my wealth creation, what's the one thing that would give my family freedom and security if I applied it immediately to my life? What's the one thing that if I did this within my relationships would give me the hugest bang for buck when it comes to having a fulfilling and loving relationship with both my significant other and the people that I love, right? That's the question you want to ask yourself. Set a timer, 10 minutes, go to town. Write everything you can possibly think of down and apply it, right? See which one gives you the biggest bang for buck, the most leverage, and then get to it. Start taking action, my friend. But you want to start asking yourself that question in every area of your life. And then that becomes the first thing that you do. That becomes the only thing that you do until it is done, right? Until it is done. Everything else is secondary because you've already come to the conclusion that X, whatever it is that you've decided is the one thing, is the most important thing that needs to get done. So nothing else matters. Until you get that done, then you go about doing other stuff that doesn't matter as much. Right? But that's it. Okay, that's today's Snapshot from the Summit episode. This is Dwayne signing off for the team here at Conquer Your Everest. I will be back on the next episode of Snapshots from the Summit. Till then, bye for now.